Hey, so this video is going to be a little bit more of a heart to heart to anyone who's maybe 25 on the fence about publishing online. And I'll tell you three reasons why you should be publishing every day, how it benefited me throughout my life, and just 2026. Here we are in this new world in terms of everything's online and why you need to get the benefits of this current, just the dynamic of how everything's playing out. So I actually jotted down some notes because I think there's just three great reasons of why everyone should be posting in 2026. First one is social media isn't necessarily about connecting with your friends. It's actually about expressing yourself individually. And so, what I mean by that is when I'm publishing online, I'm not imagining my friends that I went to college with or high school with viewing these videos. I know how the algorithm works nowadays. It gets pushed to people who are looking for that exact content. So, when I cover a book or an idea, it's people already searching for that content. My friends, they don't care, right? These videos aren't meant for them. And I think about that overall for social media. It's really a way of expressing myself, getting my ideas out there, and connecting with people who resonate with those same types of topics. That's what I did before, it's what I'm doing again today. So that's the number one reason why you should be posting is because social media isn't about, impressing friends or showing your friends what you're doing. It's more about connecting with people that resonate with what you believe and what you're doing. So the second reason is with publishing, for me, I have to clarify my goals, my intentions, understand my mission. And I did that years ago when I first started blogging and writing online and then eventually podcasting. I was able to talk about personal finance. And I remember still back in 2015, I mean, it was nerve wracking. I'd read over 100 books on personal finance. I committed to doing all these different things. But the act of publishing online clarified my theories, clarified my intentions. And then once it's on paper, I felt extremely, I would say, focused and, made it really clear, but also I was held accountable because I was publishing online. I would start off the year, and I mean, this is 2026 now or 2016 now, and I'm working hard that year, and I ended up banking 50K from an income of like 130K, right? So a pretty large percentage of that went away towards investments, towards retirement, towards a portfolio. And I was able to get featured on CNBC, on Bloomberg, on all these publications in 2017, all because of the results of 2016 and all because I was willing to publish it starting in 2015. So again, by holding yourself accountable online, for me, it forced me to really put my money where my mouth is and actually follow through on these big goals, ambitions, the dreams. Because again, I had been struggling for years to do it, but I found that by publishing online, I was held accountable and I got to, kind of combining with the first theme, I was connecting with other people who were resonating with the themes of frugality and early retirement and financial independence. So it made it a lot more fun, enjoyable. Hopefully, you can even tell right now I'm just getting excited talking about it because it was quite the journey and I would never have happened if I wasn't publishing online. So the third one now um, is I would relay it back to check out the video where I covered this book, The Winner Effect. So nowadays, if I look at this book, this was a big inspiration to me last year. And I'll just share kind of the main lesson of this book was essentially when the story they tell is basically when you have these up and coming fighters, they put them up against, these, heavyweights or whatever, these UFC fighters. They often put them up against people who are they're probably gonna beat. And so all of a sudden you have someone who's won 5, 10, 15, 20 fights in a row. I'll just say on modern UFC, I'm not 100% familiar, but in the old school boxing days, you get these heavyweight, bouts that were like, two guys that were undefeated over 20 fights. It made for these huge climactic, fights. And so it goes through the psychology of what happens when you start having win after win after win. And so I think about it as setting up your environment in a way where you're going to activate the winner effect. And that's what this book is about, is how to activate that winner effect because the studies are in, the psychology's there, what are the biology, everything's wired to, basically once you get that first win, your body kind of opens up, you start to see different patterns, you start to get more inspired and you want to go again and win again and again and again. And so that compound effect with the actions, that's what publishing does online. You're able to lean into that edge that you want to pursue. For me right now, it's public, communication online, trying to just deliver better videos And I find that by publishing every day, I'm accomplishing that goal, right? And in the meantime, it aligns back with the mission, right? Again, I'm hoping that when people check out this video, maybe they're like, hey, this book, that sounds interesting. Let me dig into it. Because again, I think that's the mission, right? I want to be able to reach out to people, inspire them to take some massive action. And usually that means not just scrolling through, 50 more shorts or Instagram reels or TikTok. It's about digging into a video, getting the lesson, and then digging into the resource and really internalizing it and realizing it. I'm a CPA. I think about this often, but there's this big principle between recognizing something and realizing something. And oftentimes, I think people recognize the value, they recognize what to do, but they never realize the results. And so, again, that's my main thing I'm encouraging everyone to do. Publish every day, or at least record something and you have it on your video on your phone every day. It's that simple. Just hit record, talk about what your intentions are, start to identify what your mission is, and share that with the world. Because again, right now, as you can tell from this channel, if you're right here in real time, not a ton of people, not a ton of traffic. So it's not really about going viral or anything like that. Because if I go back to my old original story that helped me, it's I started in 2015. I started getting a lot of traction in 2016, and then in 2017 it went viral. But again, all of that success for those first 15 months before everything blew up, that success was made possible by engaging with those random fans. I had people that were in all sorts of in the US or overseas. They would email me and we'd get on the phone and talk about all these different tax saving strategies. Or this guy was talking about how he installed a chicken coop in his back to save money on his groceries. And I talked to other people about investment properties. And so by having those conversations with people that were aligned with my mission, the publishing daily became, publishing online became more fun, and it's just a way to deepen the connection with my hobbies and my interests. And so, yeah, I'm rambling a bit about a few different things, but I hope you got those three takeaways for why you should be publishing online. Connect with people that are inspired to basically, engage in the same kind of activities that you're engaging with. You'll be held accountable, so you won't just be thinking about the dreams. You'll actually be pursuing them and actually engaging in them and learning and growing. That's been the biggest benefit of my life. And the third one is just keep activating the winner effect. It's sort of just, um, it's addicting, really. I can't think of a better word, but even though I know that word has a lot of negative connotations, but it's really fun to just keep leaning into the edge, keep growing, because I think growth ultimately, and this is probably the better way to phrase it, is that growth is really where a lot of joy and the art of uh, enjoyment comes from. So hopefully you got something out of this video. I'm really hoping to inspire just whoever's watching this video. Leave a like if you got something out of this. I'd love to see a comment if you got anything. Just share maybe a takeaway you got from this video, and subscribe if you want to hear more content. But again, let's use the tools that are available to us in this world to put ourselves in the best light possible and offer more value to our our families, our communities, etc. So until next time, peace.